Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Hey, today we're going to get back on the Trailmaster 100 here. We're going to try to see if we can get some of this engine assembled. I think I've got most of the parts that I need. So without further ado, let's get over here and do it. Okay, first thing we've got to do is get these seals out and get our new ones in. This, I think, is the only tricky one we've got. I use a little thing I made there on my there we go, on my little slide hammer. It's just a bent nail with a little foot on it to get underneath there, because that one goes in kind of odd. So that's the first one, and we've got to look here. It's 10-22-7, and I think I've got it setting out here already. Just want to make sure. 10-22-7. Yep. Okay. Get that cleaned up a little bit. Actually looks real nice in there. Remember the direction it goes. And let's get it pushed in there. Just a little bit there that's not quite square. It's right there, my little hammer couldn't get there. Go around the thing. And I'm splitting the difference here, hitting the seal and the case. That way I don't overdrive it. So that one's good. All right. This is the one that took a while to get. And it probably had to come from Japan. I don't know. Let's see if we can, that one should pop right out. Yep. And that one is a 15-25-6, it looks like. (15-26-6). Probably is. Probably just, it's hard to read. Yeah, that's probably it. Nope, nope, nope. That's this one, probably. Let's see. Let me get this one here. 15-25-6. Okay, that's it. 15-25-6. Okay. Same thing, just split the difference. Feels good. And our last one is the kick. I had it marked that way. That one's kind of tight. (15-26-6). Yep, that's it. All right. That one in. Okay, so all the seals are in here. Get all them little baggies. Okay, so the next thing we need to take a look at is the rotary valve cover, I believe. Okay, the thing we need to check here, this one is, the old one is a 2847 8-2, and this one is the same except for it's an 8-4. So I'm assuming it's a little bit thicker here, but that is what they sold me for the replacement for this. One thing that you want to be aware of here is that it's flush here and it's this way. So you can see that it's kind of recessed here, and I don't think that's going to matter much because this one is going to be a little bit thicker, but we're still going to drive it where it's flush to this side. So that's what we want. So let's see, best way to get that out, maybe I'm going to lay it on the padded surface here, and I've got something that is just about the right size. I'm just going to tap and see if it'll come out of there. I'm not going to get too rambunctious with it, with this carb mount there. Okay, it's coming out. Still on the way out. There it is. Okay, I just want to check and see what the difference is there. This is the old one, and it's 8.22 thickness. This one's actually a little bit narrower. Wonder what the difference is. 2847 8-4. The last number should be the thickness. And this one is a 2847 8-2. Well, it's built the same way. So this is how it's going to go in. And we're just going to see if it'll start here. See, maybe it wants to go from the other side. That looks like that's how they want to start it. Remember, we got it going that direction. You can see that they've got kind of a chamfered area around here, and this is square. So this is the best way to try to put it in. And of course this is a chamfer on the seal right here too. So that's how it's going to go. Okay, so we're just about flush with it now. Let's I think I can drive it in just a little bit more. And I wouldn't do this with a regular hammer because you could damage this area in here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get my tool here and see if I can get it in a little further. Just a little at a time. Okay, I want to be able to drive straighter, square, more square. So I've got it set up on a couple blocks, and I'm going to let this portion of it hang over like that. And that way I can get a straight drive on it. And we're coming along there. We just got to keep going. We want it even with the other side. And there it is, just almost perfect. There. Just like it's made for it. Obviously it is. Okay, now we've got our O-rings. So this is flush just like the old one was here. And you do want to make sure that your spring right here that goes all the way around is still there. And you'll actually have another one back here. So just make sure that that one didn't pop out too. You've got a double lip seal there. So we've got a small O-ring for the oil here. Let me get something to get that off. I like my little dental picks for stuff like that. Okay, so there's that one. And we've got the one on the intake pipe too. And that's pretty deformed, so it was probably leaking a little bit. All right, so let me get these out of their bags and we'll put them on. Well, that one doesn't exactly fit, does it? That's what they sold me. So I've either got another one that isn't in the right spot, or I think that's the only other O-ring I've got other than the little one that goes on the crank. Well, thank goodness for we've got this one here, the big one that goes on the back in this groove. Let me see if my assortment has one that'll work. I'm sure it does. All right. Looks good to me. Well, that's a bummer. That's probably a $10 O-ring. So I'll put that back in there, and I'll probably just end up putting it in my assortment or something. I don't know. Just make sure this guy here looks like it's going to fit. Yeah, looks like it probably will. Let me get that final clean, and we'll see where to go next. Okay, we've got that all ready to go. We need to get the little O-ring here. Off of the crankshaft. And there again, a dental pick's pretty handy. Okay, it's a little bitty one. These are actually the same as the Yamaha Enduros. There. Okay. I've got my O-ring greased around here and my seal greased there. And remember that this portion goes down, goes towards the engine. And I believe we've got a little pin we need in there too. And let me get a tweezers to see if I can get that to drop in there. There. Okay, got a little Yamaha lube. I'm just going to put some in the bearing. Not a lot, just enough to kind of give it a helping hand on startup. And we'll get a little bit on our O-ring up here too. Get a spacer. This has got a cutout for that pin that we put in. And where'd my grease go? I'll go ahead and put a little grease on the spacer and a little bit on the inside too for that O-ring. You have to tap it a little bit, I think. I'm going to have to get you out of my way just a little bit here. There. Just got to get it to go over that O-ring. Everything's still loose. Well, I think everything is in there that needs to be in there. Oops. Keep wanting to slide down on me here. Okay, so do another quick clean in here. And again, I'm going to put a little Yamaha lube in there. And we've got two pins here that everything lines up on. Last time to check your O-ring. All right, let me get some screws. And we've got our screws here, so we kind of start those. We've got this one that's a countersunk variety. Okay, and we've got, already slid the gear on, get the lock washer on, and we get the nut on there. Tighten that up after we get all the rest of it in. I went ahead and got a new pizza cutter, so let me get that out of the bag here. These things, they're still readily available, same one as the Enduro, so don't skimp on them. If you're going in there, they're usually worn. Yeah, I think I'll just pull it loose right there. Maybe I won't. Maybe easier here. Yeah, it's got a lot of slop. Here's a new one. Not near as much. And on the trip back in, give it a little bit of blue Loctite. Well, where's the football at? Should have probably put it in there before I put the arm back in. Okay. I think I'm to the point where I need to get my shift shaft through, and then we'll have to adjust the shifter. So let me do that, and then I've got a seal to put in on that side also. I'm going to be able to do this around that or not. Okay, this one is a 12-22-6, I think. Let me hunt that one down. It's a 12-22-5. All right, should be good. Okay, if you remember, we had a little trouble getting the shift shaft out, and I thought maybe it was bent, but it is not bent. It's got a couple little owies right here. I think that's the issue. So I'm just going to take a file and kind of work it down here in the lathe real quick, and then maybe with a little sandpaper. And be careful of the shift end over here. Yeah, I can feel it grabbing. Better already. And let me grab some sandpaper. Let's see if that's going to work. Okay, let's give it a try here now. Let me just put a little oil on it. Come on. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Spring drop down there. There, now we got it. Keeps wanting to fold over on me there. There we go. All right. Let me get the clip on this side over here. And we've got the washer that goes on first. And then we've got our E-clip. I don't know, maybe that's not... Seems like that's a little thick, maybe. Okay, get the right one here now, I think. There, okay. Okay, first thing we need to do is take the little cover off here. Sure makes it easier anyway. You got a washer there, so be careful. Okay, we need to get this so that we've got 2 pins inside this gap right here. So the shifter over here. Okay, there we go. So you can see that this gap right here between this lever, the front part of the lever, and the pin is smaller than this one between the back part. That's what we need to adjust on the eccentric right here. Remember, that's loose. That's the wrong way. Okay, see that move? See, this whole thing was loose when we took it apart. You want this to be just about an equal gap. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be as close as you can get it. Now, one thing I've noticed on these versus the Enduros is there's no lock washer. It's just a lock nut that you're going to tighten up, and probably a fella should put some Loctite on it. See how tight I can get it without moving anything. Well, it looks like that's probably good. Okay, so let me see if I can get you down here where you can see that nut. See the nut right here? Let me get a light. Yeah, this nut right here. Now this piece here is what I adjusted. That's the eccentric. So it's kind of oval shaped, and when we turned that, that's what we were able to get this gap the same. Okay, so you can see what we've done there, and we should be good. Like I say, it was loose when we took it apart, so it probably wasn't shifting very good. Now I'm going to clean this screw up just a little bit like I did with the pizza cutter bolt, and I'm going to put some blue Loctite on it also. Just take a little acetone, clean it the best you can. And then the screw also with some acetone. And once you get that to air dry, and just put a little blue on it. Okay, I think we're good. So we're tight there, and we've got the clip on there. Okay guys, I noticed this when I was taking it apart. We've got a lot of slop in here. And some of these rivets are kind of loose too. You know, I've got the pucks to replace the ones on the Enduros and some of the Suzukis, but I don't know what's in there. But we're not going to know until we get in there and find out. We can always find rivets. I've had to drill them before to the next size over or whatever, but this is just kind of par for the course. That rubber, this is very, very sloppy. The rubber in there really gets affected by the oil over time, and I think we need to address this. So let me get set up and we'll try to get the rivets out. Now the one thing on the ones I've done in the past, the Yamaha Enduros and the Suzukis, there's only one, actually 3 pins. I'm not sure what the deal is with the other pin here, but of course we've got to remove them all to get them out. So you've got they're pretty proud here on top, so that they're not exactly flush. I'll go ahead and measure that and get some kind of an indication, so I'll know how we need to go back together. But yeah, we need to address this. It's probably okay because these bikes probably aren't going to get used that much, but it really helps with the other bikes that I've done. It gives it a little more solid feel. It's not so mushy. So let's just go ahead and cut them off and see what it looks like in there. Then we'll deal with it. Okay, I've got it set up here in the Bridgeport, and I'm going to use a mill to take the top off these rivets, and then we'll drive them out. I think I'm going to have to get a different end mill. This one seems to be pretty dull. Much better. Just about got it. Okay, that's just about got that one. So let me work on the others. Okay, I think we've got them all cut there. So let me get it out of there and we'll see about driving them out. Okay, we've got it sitting here on a block of wood. One good thing about this, the cage on this one is steel. The Enduros are aluminum. I think I'm going to go around here and try to knock out the top one first. You're probably just going to be able to see my hand is about it. Let me get you around the other side. Okay. Looks like the same ones the Enduro uses. It's just that you've got these little gizmos here in there. They look the same anyway. But you can see they're broken. That one is anyway. Got some pieces, oops. Pieces missing out of that one. So I think we're going to be able to do it some good with some new ones. Okay, closer up look of it here. What it's doing is it's putting this piece here between them. I believe, if I remember right, that's how that is built like that. Only it's on the Enduros, it's made into the piece instead of, or maybe this is a little bit smaller. I can't remember for sure. only done a couple of them. But anyhow, these you can really tell that they're weak. Some of them are broken. So it's a good thing that we went ahead and checked it out. But that's how they go into the gear. And then of course this piece here goes on it like that. Let me run over and pick up the new Enduro insulators. I'm pretty sure they're the same. Okay, here's a set of them for the Yamaha Enduros, and they're looking a little bit thicker, but the diameter is the same. Maybe these are a little bit bigger. It's probably because these are squished down. Like I say, this, so you can see how cracked that one is. But it'll actually go right in there. May have to trim off the top of it just a little bit so I can get the complete installation of the rivets. Yeah, I think those will work just fine. I've got some here. These are for the Suzuki. They actually use a solid and a hollow one. Just about the same thing. So they use every other one. You've got a hollow one and then a solid one on those, which is actually a pretty good idea. You know, they're just trying to keep you from tearing up gears and stuff. That's the whole idea, having these. Okay, I've got my durometer here, and this is the one that come out of this clutch, and I'm just going to take a reading on the shore of it. It's like about 72.5, and our new ones are 72, 70, yeah. So these are compatible as far as the hardness of the neoprene or urethane. I think they're probably made out of urethane. So the only thing we may have to do is kind of cut this little ridge off the top of one side just to get it to fit down in there, because this piece right here is a little bit thinner. But those actually set a little below. No, I think we're going to have to cut that ridge off just so that we can get this plate to set down all the way. So that's probably what we'll do. My next thing is I've got to find out what size rivets they are. It's 0.205. Okay, I'm getting 0.205. This is inches on these, and I've got some here that are 0.208. So we can use these. There's probably enough room to get through there. If there's not, we can drill it just a little bit. They go into this piece okay. They're tight. Yeah, they'll go through that one too. This one here is just a little, oh, that one went. Okay, looks like most of them do. So we've got the rivets and we've got the new pucks. So I think we can make this work. So just a little bit more look here for those that are curious of what's in here. I'm sure some of you have had them apart and have changed them out, but it's these really get weak after time. You, like I say, you can see some of them that are split. So you can see that one there is split, not completely through, but there was another one here that was worse than that, I think. This one's very oblong. You take a new one and they're not as easily compressed. So I think we're running pretty long on this video. So the next one we'll go ahead and reassemble this. I don't know whether we'll get much done as far as the buildup of the engine from where we left off, but we'll at least get this done. And you know, it's just one of those things we have to deal with now, because all these parts are wearing out. Okay guys, there you have it. We needed to go into that clutch basket. I've just seen too many of these get soft like that, and they're just going to get worse. They don't get better by themselves. So this is the fix. We're lucky that I happen to have some for an Enduro. I get those from Sumo Rubber in England, and as far as I know, they're no longer in business. So as soon as what I've got is gone, I don't know what we're going to do. There is a gentleman here in the States. I had him mold the ones up for the Suzuki. Actually, a friend of mine had him mold some up, and I think he's able to do more, and probably the bigger the order, the better for him. We'll just have to get with him if we need any more, which this is gonna, I think I'll have maybe 2 or 3 sets left, and just about every Enduro these days has to have this procedure done. So anyhow, we're lucky. We've got the rivets, we've got the pucks, and we'll be able to go ahead and fix this one and get it back together. But it's going to put us off another video, so another weekend probably. So stay tuned for this. Say thanks for going along on the ride, and we'll see you next video.